Golf is a game of tradition. Every year we gather to watch the Masters at Augusta National. We aren't changing the game to include a par 7. The game's first connections, like the old course at St. Andrews, have beaten the test of time. But there's nothing wrong with a little bit of change here and there. Perhaps that change could happen at the PGA Championship, which will be played very soon. This tournament does have tradition, but has shown a little leeway to be flexible, particularly in its host sites. So let's examine what golf courses and clubs in the United States could realistically host the tournament in the future. All courses mentioned will be places that the PGA Championship has not gone to in the past. At number 1, Pacific Dunes, located in Bandon, Oregon, one of the premier courses at the renowned Bandon Dunes Golf Resort. Designed by Tom Doak and opened in 2001, this quickly gained international acclaim. Has that awesome rugged coastal landscape you're looking for, and the course has those awesome ocean views you're looking for, the dunes in there, a minimalist design philosophy that allows the terrain to dictate the flow of play. And unlike a lot of courses, Pacific Dunes doesn't follow a traditional routing. With its fescue grasses, firm playing conditions, and exposure to the ever-changing coastal winds, the dunes evokes that spirit of traditional Scottish links golf, and quite honestly would be awesome for the PGA to come here. You would get such a little dose, almost a Pebble Beach, but in a new place in Oregon, and I think a lot of people would really enjoy Pacific Dunes. Chicago Golf Club, located in Wheaton, Illinois, one of the most distinguished places in American golf history, the first 18-hole course in the United States, founded way back in 1892 by Charles Blair McDonald, and he's often regarded as the father of American golf course architecture. But the club actually originally opened in Downers Grove before relocating to its current site in 1894. And again, this is another course that goes off that Scottish links course design and would really translate into an interesting way into the modern American golf scene, and would be an awesome course to see guys play. This course has wide fairways and strategic bunkering, plus distinctive green complexes, and I think it would be really awesome to see the PGA Championship here. The course has already hosted multiple U.S. Opens and U.S. Amateurs, and remains one of the most exclusive and revered golf clubs in history. Seminole Golf Club in Juno Beach, Florida, just a prestigious private club. Another big rich history here, an exceptional design, founded way back in 1929 by E.F. Hutton. The course was designed by Donald Ross, and he did a great job in routing these holes between dune ridges and shifting wind directions, really challenging golfers in a lot of different ways. It would be awesome to see the PGA Championship play here in an exclusive club, and also feature the awesome parts of Florida as well, as that's always a good state. Over the years, Seminole Golf Club has maintained its status as an elite golfing destination. I think this would be interesting too, because in Florida, a lot of people talk about it might be too hot if it's July or something to hold a big tournament there. It does kind of get overwhelming. In fact, the game is often in Florida and Arizona when it's in the sort of winter time. But I think the biggest attraction of Seminole Golf Club is it would bring Florida in the spotlight again in the middle of the golf season. Typically, we see the PGA kind of get away from Florida and Arizona and those two warm destinations once you get to the summer, because it's almost a little bit too hot there. However, I think with the PGA now being played in May, you could sneak in this turn. Again, it would be a little hot, but you could sneak this in at Seminole Golf Club, and I just think it'd be a great destination to show off. The National Golf Club of Canada, situated in Woodbridge, Ontario, is widely regarded as one of the country's most prestigious and challenging golf courses. The club was established in 1975, and the course designed by renowned architects George and Tom Fazio. But the course has a demanding layout, and you love to see those demanding bunkers that they've got, also the tight fairways, fast greens, everything you want at a major course, and has a reputation as one of the toughest courses in Canada. The club has drawn criticism, and this could be a deterrent, has a men's-only membership policy, and that's a stance that has drawn attention and discussions about inclusivity in golf. There would also be, I think they would let obviously all the women in for the PGA, to watch and everything, but just sometimes, again, that is a little bit of a political/social deal to where the PGA Championship may not want to deal with that. And secondly, here the big obstacle with this course, of course, is that it is outside the United States. Traditionally, you will hold some tournaments on the PGA Tour outside the U.S., but not a major championship. This would be a big gamble. Capilano Golf and Country Club, nestled in West Vancouver, British Columbia, another one of Canada's premier golf courses. And of course, this site has dramatic elevation changes. The first 6 holes descend approximately 300 feet, and Stanley Thompson did a wonderful job designing this. Opened way back in 1937, so has some origins as well. Plenty of stories to tell as the players get around this track. The club has maintained that commitment to excellence, hosted a lot of prestigious tournaments through the years, and I think at this time it would be an awesome kind of Western Coast place to go, but also would keep you with the cooler temperatures and just a nice atmosphere up if you went to Canada for this PGA Championship in the future. But again, like the other one we just talked about, the National Golf Club of Canada, this is a gamble going outside the States, even though it doesn't have that, kind of one men's only policy that we just talked about that could be a little bit of a gamble. Located in Mullen, Nebraska, Sand Hills Golf Club. What a beauty this one is. Private golf course, of course, but minimalist design. Just integrates into the natural landscape as well as any course you'll ever see. It feels like it's just right a part of that awesome land that's situated on. And the course really didn't move much earth, only about 4,000 cubic yards to preserve that native sand dune and prairie grasses when it was built. And it spans 130 acres, the 18-hole par 71 course, over 7,000 yards. You do have wider fairways here. You've got greens that are tough though, natural blowout bunkers that will challenge golfers to adapt to the wind conditions that always change here. Golf Digest placed this course at 8 in the 2023-24 list of America's 100 greatest golf courses, while Golf Week named it the best modern course in the U.S. in 2022. The club maintains a membership list that's less than 200, and most members travel from across the country to experience its remote and tranquil setting. But the course, though it opens in late May, it could do a little service to the PGA, open a little earlier than that, host a PGA Championship, and let everybody experience this. Now, the tough thing here with this course, maybe the one thing is that with it, obviously, first of all, it's very inclusive or exclusive, not letting a lot of people get there, but secondly, it might be hard to fill out spectators if they're very touch and go with all the prairie lands and how well that has to be kept. That you're going to have a lot of foot traffic for the PGA Championship could be tough. Now, I think the Honors Course wouldn't have this issue. We're talking about this in Tennessee, one of the prestigious private golf clubs established in 1983 by Jack Lupton, and this one is a beauty. Takes you through Tennessee, got those rolling valleys, and just gives you a good feel for the Midwest. The course is dedicated solely to golf. There's no big additional amenities, and it really just reflects its commitment to the sport. The course has undergone plenty of enhancements over the years, and now is really sitting very well. The Honors Course also has a rich history of hosting significant amateur tournaments, and notably it hosted the 91 U.S. Amateur, the 96 NCAA Division I Men's Golf Championship, where Tiger Woods, of course, won the individual title, the 1994 Curtis Cup, and the 2005 U.S. Mid-Amateur. Well, looking ahead, the course will host the U.S. Women's Amateur in 2026 and the U.S. Amateur in 31, so I think it's about time we can bring a PGA Championship here. Crystal Downs Country Club in Frankfort, Michigan would be an awesome place to go, in my opinion. A revered private course co-designed by legendary architects Alistair Mackenzie and Perry Maxwell back in 1929. The great thing about this course, you're wrestled right between Lake Michigan and Crystal Lake, so the course has that natural beauty and awesome design. And Mackenzie, way back in the day, actually delayed a trip home just to perfect the routing for this course, and Maxwell returned for several years to ensure this thing would meet their vision in construction. But the course features awesome terrain, those thick fescue roughs, and has intricately contoured greens, making it a challenging yet rewarding experience for golfers. Now, the distance comes in at just under 6,600 yards, so that could arguably be a little bit short for today's modern golfers and gear. So I think what the PGA could do here to come to this course is probably, if they'd like to, go ahead and see if they can shift the tee boxes back potentially, or make any of those type of adjustments to the course just to make sure it's challenging enough distance-wise for the modern golfer. But Golf Digest ranks this as the 14th best course in the U.S. recently. It was also recognized as a top 100 course globally. So the club up here near Michigan, I think, would be a great place to go. Get you up also to a nice cool environment. That time of the year in May should be about perfect room temperature outside. So I know this one might be a little difficult. It might be a little difficult to convince the PGA Championship, but look, Forest Highlands Golf Club, specifically the Canyon Course in Flagstaff, Arizona, would be the pinnacle of beauty. A premier private golf community renowned for 2 championship courses, and it was established in 1987. More importantly, you are going to a new state in Arizona for the PGA Championship, but secondly, it's not going to be too hot because you'll be up in the mountains in Flagstaff, so it's going to be really nice weather in May. And the course is a par 71 layout, measures just over 7,000 yards, one of the top private courses, and beyond the exceptional golf, you have a vibrant community nearby. And given that the PGA's made it work in smaller places, I would argue Augusta is relatively small to some of the big cities that we often see courses near. And there's often a lot of other courses, by the way, I'm sure you can name some in major history that really aren't that near big cities or anywhere people can stay. They always figure out a way to accommodate all the visitors. So I think in that situation, we should try and make this one work in Flagstaff, Arizona at the Forest Highlands Golf Club. Just too pretty of a course not to do it, and would again bring you somewhere new, give you a new destination here. I would take a chance on the Canyon course. So the long shot picks here, ladies and gentlemen, the Shadow Creek Golf Course in Las Vegas. This one has gotten a lot of praise over the years, and it is right near the Las Vegas Strip. So obviously you're going to have a ton of tourists here. You're going to have a ton of entertainment for the people watching the golf during the day. They go gamble at night, whatever. This course has gotten a little less reserved over the years, actually. It's gotten more open to the public, but nonetheless, that should not keep the PGA from potentially trying this out if they wanted an option in a new place. And I will say also, I think it would be pretty hot, but if you hold the championship earlier in May in the year you go there, you could potentially pull this off at Shadow Creek Golf Course without having the temperature issue. Inania Golf Club in Hawaii is an exclusive links 18-hole course that is definitely everything you want. You got the slopes of a mountain with black lava as its base, and it offers the stunning ocean views and a unique golfing experience. Has a challenging layout as well, and you could probably mess with it to make it even more challenging for PGA golfers, but this would be completely difficult. I understand you're not as easy for many golf fans to get to, but Hawaii would just be such a destination if you wanted to really get outside the box and you're the PGA. And two honorable mentions, places I think they should consider going back to. How about the Cherry Hills Country Club in Denver, Colorado? So the PGA has not come here in a very long time, but Arnold Palmer won there in 1960. There were 3 U.S. Opens also hosted here. There are plenty of major championships, and it's renowned for the challenging layout and memorable moments. So I think it would be about time to come back to Cherry Hills Country Club. And how about Portland, Oregon with the Portland Golf Club? Established all the way back in 1914, another classic course. You're up there in the Pacific Northwest, which is always a delight during the summer, or early summer, late spring. The classic course has seen design contributions from notable architects like Robert Trent Jones Sr. and already hosted the PGA Championship in the past, the Ryder Cup in the U.S. Senior Open. So how about we come back here to Portland? All right, guys, so now for the picks, I got to go with the Honors Course there in the 2030s. I'm going to say all these, by the way, go in the 2030s, but look, the Honors Course, such a great place to go. You're in Tennessee, in the Midwest, a little more relatable to most of the golf fans. You're not out in, let's say, Hawaii, where it's going to be difficult to get people to commit going out there. And not only that, the Honors Course has just been upgrading and upgrading over the years, got nicer, already has hosted some good tournaments in the past. Clearly, the PGA trusts them there to also have, in the USGA, to also have the amateurs and stuff like that being hosted. So I think you also have plenty of room for patrons and stuff to fill the concourse there and be able to watch the golf with no problems. So the Honors Course, let the room, the valleys, the everything, take us there in the 2030s, please. And also in the 2030s, a little bit harder to put everybody there, but Sand Hills would be a destination to me. This course in Nebraska just has everything going. It is in such a nice prairie land that makes it look like an awesome place to play. Sort of a link style design. It's challenging, but nothing ridiculous. It would also, again, be able to show off the wonderful diversity you have in golf throughout the United States, especially coming off a year. Let's say you had the Honors Course the year before, and then you go to Sand Hills, two, drastically different environments, but they both look amazing, and again, brings you to a new place. In Chicago Golf Club, maybe I'm missing the mark here. Maybe I'm missing why this place hasn't gotten more picks to do, let's say PGA Championships, US Opens in the past, but it's got to get another look and should get a PGA Championship. Just an exclusive Midwest destination that, people love Chicago. They love everything around it. There's plenty to do around the city. It's not going to be a nightmare for fans to get there and everything. So Chicago Golf Club makes total sense. You're in a big market. You're going to be also playing at a historic course that's been around forever. So Chicago Golf Club would be a pick for me. I think everything I've mentioned would all be pretty good options in my opinion, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. What courses do you have in mind? Drop some comments and a like down below if you have any thoughts. Feel free to subscribe if you like content like this. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.